So as you people know already, the loads, what are the loads acting on a structure, especially you people learn in the RCC structure. So same like that, and the coming to the steel structures also, we use same thing, like different types of the loads, unit weights, and all those things. The first one is the dead load, live load, and the wind load, seismic load, or earthquake load, whatever it may be, snow load, water current load, impact load, temperature and erection effects. Along with erection effects, we call it as erection loads, EL, and also accidental loads, and also secondary effects, and also dust loads. Yeah, if you people observe this one, first of all, how many loads are acting on that one? What is the dead load? That means is nothing but self weight, everyone knows. And what is the live load means? When the object is moving from one place to another place, that type of loads, we call it as a live load, like a human being's residential building, if you observe. And also wind load, due to wind, the wind load will act on the structure. The seismic load is nothing but earthquake load. Whenever the tectonic plates, due to tectonic plates, there will be earthquake will occur. Due to that earthquake, we have some earthquake loads are acting on the structure. And snow loads, due to snow load in the winter season, and some countries snow is more. And also water current load, maybe these we call it as a tidal loads also, due to tides. It is like this. An impact load, whenever the sudden load acting on that one, due to whenever the very heavy machinery equipments we use in the structure, definitely there will be impact loads acting on the structure. And temperature loads, definitely due to the temperature from one weather to another weather. If you observe from one season to another season, like winter season, summer season, rainy season, so different types of the season, there will be a temperature effect is there. And erection loads, when you are constructing the building, or suppose when you are constructing a steel structure, especially the erection, the prefabricated members or steel girders or steel plates, whatever it may be, when you people are erecting the structure, definitely there will be erection loads are there, accidental loads, and also secondary effect, dust loads, especially these dust loads. If you observe in the cement plants, okay, there will be a lot of dust will be there. Okay, coming to the dead loads, dead load is nothing but only self weight. Everyone knows this one, and this one, the code is IS 875 2000. It is a part 1. So under this part 1, you will learn lot of unit weight of a member. For suppose plain concrete is there, the unit weight is 24 kg per cubic meter. For reinforced concrete, how much? 25 kg per cubic kilonewton per cubic meter, not kg, sorry. Okay, so same like that. For the masonry, we will take 20 kilonewton per cubic meter. And also for the asbestos sheets, manglure tiles, terrazzo paving floors, and granite stone masonry. For steel, especially 78.5 kilonewton per cubic meter. So these all things, whatever we are taking the dead loads, we will take from IS 875 part 1 code book. Okay, my dear students, when you need the unit weight, directly refer the IS 875 code book. And again, this code book contains total 5 parts. In that, the first part is completely related to the dead loads. Okay, next coming to the live load. The live load are IS 875 part 2. So for the live loads, we use part 2 of IS 875 part 2. So in the live load, especially if you people observe in the steel structure, there will be a live load like crane load, and also hydrostatic and earth pressure also is there, and also impact load and the horizontal loads on the parapets. These all will come under the live loads. And these live loads, if you If you observe the live load is completely regarding the part 2. The For suppose I am living in the first floor of my building, I am moving from one place to another place. So definitely I call it as a live load. And these live loads will vary from one structure to another type of structure. One second. Excuse me. So here, for residential building and educational building, for institutions and assembly building, business and office buildings, uh, industrial buildings and storage rooms, if you observe in the part 2, for the residential building, if you see the uniformly distributed load, there will be a uniformly distributed load. We will take around 2 kilonewton per meter square. And for the kitchen also 3 kilonewton per meter square. For storerooms, office rooms, if you observe the storerooms, maybe the load is more. That's why we will take the load is 5 kilonewton per meter square. So like that, we have in the IS 875 part 2, we have different types of the loads are there. Definitely we will take the loads from the IS 875 part 2. Even you people learned a lot in the RCC structures. Okay. Next, wind loads. These wind load we will take from the IS 875 part 3. So from the IS 875 part 3, there will be a wind load. That's in that wind load. What is the basic wind speed on a structure and a location? Which location for if you take on Hyderabad or Chennai, Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi. So like that, we have some zones are there, wind zones. So from that wind zones, we will take the basic wind speed for the that location. Based on that, like we have different types of the wind speeds are there, like 33, 43, 53 meter per second. Like that, we have different wind speeds are there. So from these wind speeds, based on that basic wind speed on that location, we will take that wind speed. For that only, we will design a structure. Especially if you are go to outside after your final year, you must consider that one. Okay. So same like that, we have to calculate the wind pressure and also shear forces and base shear and all those things, the deflection on the structure. For suppose if it is a structure, maybe you look like it look like a Burj Khalifa. Okay, when apply load, there is a wind load. So at that time there will be a deflection like this. So whatever we are designing in the RCC, also the deflection criteria. Even the Burj Khalifa having the deflection around 1.5 meter because of it is the height is around 830 meters. Okay. Even if you see the beam calculation, we will get around 0.1 or 0.2 mm in mm only. But if you take the vertical structure, definitely there will be a wind speed is more. When the wind acting on the structure, it will be move like this. It's like a sway type and there will be a lot of deflection will be there. When the deflection is there, again it comes to its original position. Okay, so those all things once if you design maybe by using the standard pro software or ETAP software, so you will get all how it will deflect and each and everything you will learn in that software only. Okay, but in the manual calculation, especially if you take advanced subject like elements of earthquake engineering, the wind engineering, so in that definitely we will thoroughly learn all these things. Okay, but coming to the next, seismic loads. These seismic loads, if you people observe the seismic loads, what is there? Seismic load is nothing but earthquake loads. The earthquake load we have again 1893 code book is there. 1893. Okay. IS 1893, Indian Standard of IS 1893. There is a code book. Again, we have earthquake zones are there like zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. We have 4 zones are there. Previously 5 zones are there, but now they removed zone 1. So now the seismic loads, when you people are you will see the on the Richter scale the magnitude may be 5, the magnitude may be 4.5, the magnitude may be 6. So on the Richter scale the magnitude is around 8 or 9. That means the severity is more whenever the earthquake load is more. So in that areas, if you go to the northeast area and Gujarat and Japan, if you observe those cases, so the earthquake is more. But by thanks to God, and we are living in Hyderabad, there is no earthquake prone zone area. Okay, that's why if you observe the 1893 code book, there is an Indian map is there. In that, which zone is we have different types: zone 2, 3, 4, 5. So which zone is there under Hyderabad will come. So you have to check once. All of you open 1893 whenever you are free. Okay. So definitely you will check all these things based on that earthquake zone. We will design the earthquake analysis also for that structure. Okay, that's why we will consider the seismic loads as per the 1893 code book. Now snow loads, it's nothing but IS 875 part 4 is there, and water current load, this one known in now. Impact load, when sudden load is acting on that, definitely impact load will be there, and temperature loads also is there, and there is a crane load is there. This crane load also we will take as per the IS 800 code book. Wait for 1 second. Yeah. So IS 800 2007. Clause number 3.5.4. In that, it is saying there are some crane loads are there. How we will take all the crane loads? And I told you already in the IS 800 code book, you will observe the loads and also as well as the load combinations. In the examination, once if they will ask the question, directly will open the IS 800 soft copy or hard copy in the examination. You will even they will permit you to the examination hall like previously you taken for the RCC IS 456 code book. Same like that, they will permit IS 800 2007 code book also. Okay. So here there are some other loads, erection loads and also accidental loads. Okay. And also secondary loads are there. Dust load is there. So in the dust load, we will take the sediment of dust on the roof. Sometimes if it is a roof like that, if you see the ready mix concrete and also some of the steel plants or cement plants, if you observe the cement plants, especially steel plant, moreover in the cement plant where the roofs are there like this, so there will be a lot of dust will be settle on the roof. So at that time also we have to take the dust load also, especially while designing the steel structure. So never ever forget about a single load while calculating or while designing a structure. Generally, after your final year or after your graduation, you will enter into a one structural design firm or also structural architectural design firm. What happens when you join a job as a normal design engineer? You must do all these things. Your seniors will just guide you, but they don't say take this one, take that one like that. You have to open the code book. For suppose when you people are designing a small structure like G+5 or G+1 or G+2 building, especially in the Hyderabad or in your native place, when your father will come and he will ask you design on G+1 structure or ground floor only for our relatives. At that time, you must know the AutoCAD, you must know the basic rules, basic thumb rules, how we will give the design and what are the basic norms for the design of a structure, and also how much space contained for the one bedroom or toilets or washroom, how it will wash to, and each and everything you must know that one. Why? Because now you are in 3-2, so definitely you have to concentrate on the practical application, not like always studying in the books or directly you will take the book and directly refer or blindly you will prepare 1 or 2 problems and writing in the examination. You never ever succeed in the examination. That's why, my dear students, you have to always keep on your mind, keep in your mind. So once if you graduation, after your graduation, you must know the subject as well as the design part and how you have to design and how the practical aspects are going. So nowadays latest trends are came into the society in the construction industry also. You have to learn each and everything. Always don't stick on to the course whatever we are teaching from last. See, I entered in 2014 into the teaching field, but still I am saying dead load, live load, wind load, seismic load. But as per subject, we never ever do directly in the after your final year. You have to do AutoCAD starting and also STAAD Pro and also ETAP software. You must know the code books. Again, in the code book, how much load you have to take. And again, if you are designing a residential building, for the residential building, for the staircase, the load is different. For the normal residential bedrooms, load is different. So those all things are different. Even for the lift also, there is a lift is available in RCC building or steel building. So that for the lift case, again, we have to take the different types of the loads. Why? Because if you take at a time same load for the entire structure, the cost is more. The contractor never ever come to you. That's why, my dear students, you must know each and everything for the design, and you must give some economical section while comparing to the other engineers. Then only you will succeed in the field. Okay, the wind loads and all those things we will design. uh, Accidental loads means there is a collision. Whenever the collision or explosion or fire will occur, those are the accidental loads. Okay, secondary effects, there is a settlement of foundation. That one is a secondary effects. We will call it as a secondary effects. Now moving ahead to the load combination. These load combination, if you people observe the load combination, what happens, and already you people learn some load combination in RCC structure. Same like that, we will follow the load combination like dead load plus live load, and dead load plus live load. Imposed load means live load plus wind or earthquake load, wind load or earthquake load. Next, dead load plus wind or earthquake load. Next, dead load plus erection load. These are the major load combination which we will use for the design of a steel structure. And even you can see in the section 2 of IS 800 2007 code book, you will get these load combinations. Okay. So up to this, we discussed about the loads and also stresses and load combination, those things. Now moving to the design philosophy. So the design philosophy, everyone knows that the design philosophy, we have working stress method and also ultimate load method and also limit state method. But you people learn in the RCC thoroughly what is the working stress method, what is the ultimate load method, and what is the limit state method. Okay, so these design requirement, mostly you have to learn or concentrate about the limit state method. Previously the sections are more and more in the working stress method. Also the permissible stress is yield stress by factor of safety. Okay, the stress at which the material start yield is taken as a permissible section. So we all designated it not exceeds the permissible stress. That one we will taken in the working stress method. In the ultimate load method, what happens, that is a plastic design method. The permissible load is a load when all the fiber in the steel is yielded. Okay, it does not ensure the serviceability. But if you come to the limit state method, it's completely takes both strength and serviceability into the account. That means the limit state of serviceability and limit state of strength, the both will be, we will design based on this only. The limit state of serviceability comes under like, minimum deformation, deflection, cracks, vibration, corrosion to ensure aesthetic view and functionability and safety to the partitions, etc. These are comes under the serviceability. And coming to the strength, strength means whenever the heavy loads acting on a structure, how much it will bear or how much it will resist to the that type of loads will comes under the strength. So the structure should be able to are stable and also it not collapse under any type of the load. And if you see, this is the limit state method. Okay, and we know already, we people learn. Anyway, I will show you one more PPT for your better understanding. Wait for 1 second. Wait for 1 second. Yeah. So up to today class, we discussed about the loads and also the load combinations and also the different types of the design methods. If people already learned that one in RCC, that again I explain a little bit. So in the next class, there will be only one theory. So then up to that, the chapter 1 theory is enough. So maybe next class I will wind up the chapter 1 all regarding the theory. Even I will explain the deflection and stability, like little bit theory is there. So after that, after next class, we will go to the connections. So we have riveted connection, bolted connection, welded connection, but the riveted connections is given up already. That means we are not using the riveted connections. We use only, even IS 800 2007, it is recommending only bolts and also welding. Even if you observe, if you go to the outside, even the steel structure is designed, you will see there will be some bolts or nuts you will observe. Even there will be a welding to join the two sections. Okay, anyway, after next class, I will explain all those things. I will share my screen for your better understanding. I will explain some more important topics. Wait for 1 second. Yeah, this one I already explained till now. So my dear student, just I opened this PPT just for your understanding. So today class we already finished. That matter is over. But just for your understanding, I am opening this PPT. So this is the working stress method, allowable stress method, limit state method. This one no need now. Okay, these three methods in the. So who is this one? Someone is writing on the screen 19 series. Okay, don't write on the screen. It's not good way. Okay. So now we are using completely limit state method. Designer has to ensure the structure he designed are fit for the purpose, safe and economical and durable. So my dear students, it is not in our syllabus, but I am explaining for your understanding how we have to design and which parameters you have to take while designing a structure. Okay. Yeah. Either it is fit for the purpose or not, you have to check whether it is safe, whether it is economical, as well as even though if it is economical, whether you have to check durable or not. Okay. Yeah, you will see following uncertainties affect the safety of the structure. Again, loading. See, sometimes you will design very well. You will design as per the code book efficiently. But the thing is that there will be execution engineers are there at the site or in the site. So there, the engineers, they will whatever the execution. That is the most important thing. If the material strength is not good, or suppose the material strength is not good, what happens? It will be collapsed or it's not durable. The strength is not good. So what happens? Even though if you design in very good manner, if the material strength is not good, definitely it will collapse. We don't go for this one. There will be a lot of problems will occur. The structural dimension, behavior under load, and also additional uncertainties are design errors. I told you already. Construction errors. I told you already. These cannot be incorporated into the design codes, but addressed through proper quality assurance technique. As I told you, maybe sometimes in the everything in the design, design books, they didn't mention all things. You have to go to that. You have to do all the testing conditions. You have to check the quality. You have to use the non-destructive tests. So all those things you have to do in the site. Okay, this one no need. Yeah, you see, this one no need also. Okay. Yeah, this is the most important thing. Loads caused by earthquake or flood events are based on return period, that is 50 years. Yeah, this one, if you observe here, the working stress design, Canada and India, allowable stress design completely used in the USA, and limit state design we are using Canada and India, and load and resistance factor design using USA. That's why, my dear students, when we are using in India, we will use Bureau of Indian Standard Code Books only, Indian Standard Code Books like in IS 456 Code Book or IS 800 2007. But if you go to the foreign countries, almost all thing concept is same, but there will be a nomenclature is different. For suppose the grade of characteristic strength of concrete is FCK, they will use another one. Okay, the FY they will use another one like FU like that. Okay, the limit state design even there are some code books like ASTM code books as well as Euro code book. And previously I worked in some Ethiopia country, so in that country I used ASTM code book, Euro code, as well as that country having code book EBCS, Ethiopian Building Code System like that. Okay, sir, Ethiopian Building Code Standards. So we used this code book separately, like EBCS 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. That's why always think globally, not like locally. Okay. So when you are people by hatting, you always live in this country only. Okay, you have to explore with the, you have to do research with so many different countries. So that's why you must know all the code books. Maybe after your final year, maybe you will learn. If you learn higher education, definitely will go through all these things. Okay, yeah. The working stress method and allowable stress are the older one, but coming to the LSD, that is the limit state method, and LFRD, these are the new one which apply factor of safety for the both the loading and also strength aspect for the analysis purpose. Okay, even in the limit state design, we consider the serviceability, the strength and serviceability. Okay, yeah, this one, if you observe the evaluation of limit state method, you people already this I taken from the this is the IS Ken Krishnaraju textbook. They written very carefully. In 1900, the working stress method is there. The factor of safety applied to the yield. Inadequacy of method is actual safety against the ultimate loads. Next, ultimate load is happened. So we taken safety factors. Okay. The inadequacy is serviceability aspect. Okay. Next, in the limit state method, if you observe both safety and serviceability is there. This is the concept we are using. Next, this one already we explained, no need of in depth, but you will see the clause numbers. IS 800, there are some clause numbers I wrote here. Clause number 11.2.1, you can refer this one. So this one no need in depth, but we need only limit state design, like strength and serviceability limit state, and how we will use here. Okay. Next, load factors, the resistance factor. Yeah, this one LSD and LFRB, load effect and resistance. Actually, this one no need in depth, no need, but whatever I discussed previously, that is enough up to that. But this PPT I am showing for your better understanding. Okay, load effect and also resistance is a failure. The design actions is always less than the design strength. We always know that. The design should be such that the overlap of two curves. Actually, this one is advanced one. And if you refer this one, some of the codes are there. So this one is a strength limit and also serviceability limit. And if you observe the comparison of working stress method and also limit state method, you will observe the factor of safety for yield stress is less than Fe. The partial material safety factors for the yield and ultimate stress. We taken as from the IS 800 code book, we will take the limit factor of safeties. Okay, this one also. Analysis done under the working loads here. But if you do that, factored loads into partial safety factor. Yielding or buckling never occurs at working loads, but post buckling and post yielding are considered to estimate the capacity. Deformations are evaluated under the working load, but here also same under that. Yeah, here two partial safety factors are adopted in the 800 and also 800 2007. That is the one applied to the loading, another is the material strength like gamma F and also gamma M. Anyway, I will show that a table. This is on, yeah, this one. Factor of safeties from clause number 5.4.1 of IS 800 code book. Anyway, I will share the IS 800 code book for your better understanding. All of you take print out of that by this weekend. Okay, this one also factor of safeties for different load combinations. All these things are available in the IS 800. Yeah, this is the design actions. Anyway, now no need. When we solve the problems, I will explain. These are all things clearly. Design strength. Okay. Check for stability. We have to check as per the clause number 5.5.1. Like general stability, overturning, sway stability. Anyway, these are stability and deflection, all those things I will explain tomorrow class. Okay.